Hey, what is up, YouTube? It's the Common Collector, and today I want to come at you guys with my very much budget style of Lunalight Fusion. So, if you guys are just getting back into the game and you don't really care for link format and whatnot, this is definitely a great way to start kind of getting back into the game if you're really into the old style of fusions, kind of like Elemental Heroes and whatnot. So, yeah, I really like it, and also it's a little bit of a Halloweenish themed deck. There's a couple of the cards in here. And speaking of Halloween, you guys have been doing very great on watching the Ghost Trick deck profile. So thank you everybody who's been watching that. It's at like over 900 views, which is like monumental for my little channel. So we're at like 32 subscribers and 900 videos on that. But if you guys are one of the 868 people who have watched the video and have not subscribed to the channel, let me know what I can do to make you guys watch my videos and subscribe to the channel. That's very important to me. So let me know in the comments what I can do. Anyways, let's just get right on into this. It's a bit of a lengthy deck to talk about because the cards have so many effects. So yeah, let's just get on into it. So Lunalight Kaleidocheck is a lot like the Elemental Hero Prisma of the deck. So basically, you can, once per turn, you send a Lunalight monster from your deck or your extra deck, which is a little bit of a twist, to the graveyard, and then this card gets the name of that card while it's on the field. So basically, the strategy is while it's on the field, you send your Panther Dancer to the graveyard, and then you use Polymerization to summon your Leo Dancer, with the Kaleidocheck being used as the material. Moving on, its second effect is that when it's sent to the graveyard by a card effect, you can target a Polymerization that's already in your graveyard, add it to your hand. So if you're using Polymerization for the Fusion Summon, it still works. That comes back into your hand, which is very handy. Lastly, if the card gets banished from the graveyard, or just banished in general, sorry, you can activate the effect to negate, or so your opponent cannot activate card or card effects during the battle phase. Very sorry, guys. I have to read these cards as I'm going because some of them are very lengthy effects. So, yeah, but Kaleidocheck, definitely a 3 of in the deck. So could be a little controversial, but I play 3 of the Wolves in the deck. I just think that Wolf is very handy with its Pendulum effect, and you'll see why I also run the pendulums, because they're light monsters. You'll see that why later. But basically, you use this card to fusion summon a Lunalight fusion monster from your extra deck by banishing the materials from the graveyard or on the field. So it's like a souped up Polymerization, which you can use every turn, which is super good. Moving on in with the pendulum, still 3 of the Tiger. Tiger is used to special summon a monster from your graveyard every turn, but its effects are negated and whatnot. But it's still super handy to just keep cards coming back onto your field, and everything else fits into the pendulum scales between the two, which is very nice. So moving on into Yellow Marten. Yellow Marten basically is that when it's in your graveyard or your hand, you can take a Lunalight monster on the field, send it back up to your hand, and then you can special summon that from the graveyard, which is super handy because then there's a lot of effects that go off, in the hand, discard effects and whatnot. So very nice to sometimes send some cards up to the hand. And also it's handy when you have your pendulum monsters on as a pendulum, there's still a Lunalight card. So you use this effect, you send this back up to the hand, and you can either reactivate it or use it as a monster for material, which is very nice. All the cards in here are very synergistic, or if that's a word. I don't know if I just made up a word there, but the synergy is very real here. Anyways, the second effect is that if it's sent to the graveyard by a card effect, cough, cough, Lunalight Fusion and or Polymerization, you can add a Lunalight spell or trap card from your deck to your hand. Super good. Next, moving on to one of our great discard cards, Lunalight Black Sheep. Black Sheep basically can discard either for a Lunalight monster from your graveyard or to add a Polymerization from your deck to your hand. And then also it has an effect that when it's sent to the graveyard for fusion material, you can add a Lunalight Pendulum monster from your extra deck, or one of your Lunalight monsters that's in your graveyard back up to your hand. Super good. Next, moving on, we have the Blue Cat. Blue Cat is really great for your OTK potential stuff. So it's able to double the attack of your monsters when it gets special summoned to the field, which happens quite often in the deck. And then its secondary effect is that if it's on the field and destroyed by battle or card effect, you can special summon a Lunalight from your deck, which pretty much never happens, but it's cool to have in the deck. You definitely have it in the deck for the special summoning effect. Very good. Moving on into the one-ofs, we have one of the Emerald. Basically, it's used for revamping your hand. You get to draw a card by ditching one of your Lunalights, and you can help get off some of your discard effects on the monsters. And its second effect is just really good for special summoning from the grave. Next, going into Crimson Fox. Fox is used for reducing the attack of your opponent's big boss monsters, or even if you're just going for the OTK. All of the fusion monsters have the capability for attacking your opponent's monsters twice, pretty much. So you can just reduce your opponent's monsters' attack to 0, or just one of them. Just pound them with the same monster twice, and that's probably going to take the life points down pretty significantly. Secondly, it has an effect to negate a target effect from the graveyard. And then it's really funny, like it's kind of like some of these cards have very random effects. You'll notice that its second effect also has the part where both players gain 1,000 life points from that, and I'm like, some of these things you're just like, I wonder why they put that in there. But anyway, moving on to one of the Purple Butterfly. Purple Butterfly is used to, you discard it to gain 1,000 attack on one of your monsters. And second effect is that you can banish it from the graveyard, which is very good after that discard effect. You banish it from the graveyard in order to special summon a Lunalight from your hand. And one of the greatest monsters to special summon, right here, the White Rabbit, my favorite card in the deck. When it's normal summon. Anyway, probably the blue guy, the blue cat, is the best one to special summon off of that. But anyway, White Rabbit, when it's normal summoned, you can special summon one of your Lunalights from the graveyard, and then its second effect is that once per turn you can return all of your opponent's spell and trap cards to the hand, up to the number of your other Lunalight cards that are on the field. And again, just note here that it says Lunalight card, so very important to keep that in mind, that you can still send your pendulum monsters up to the hand in order to get these effects off. Next, going off just one Blackwing Zephyros, just because great to keep getting stuff from the graveyard, and you can use him to send your pendulum monsters back into the hand, reactivate them, or use them as material, whatever you want to do. One Effect Veiler, I'm thinking of kind of bumping this up or taking it out. I'm not really sure, but basically the Effect Veiler and the Pendulum monsters are in for BLS. BLS really needs no introduction, but very nice to be able to, there's dark monsters, and there's enough light with the Pendulum monsters, so it's very nice to just kind of top it off with another light monster and try to get BLS out. So next, moving on to Fire Formation Tenki, not a Lunalight card, but it does add a Beast Warrior monster from your deck to your hand, and all of these are Beast Warriors, so very nice to use there. Moving on into Lunalight Perfume. Now, keep in mind that is Lunalight with a space, so like when a card says like add a Lunalight spell or trap card, that does not work. So just keep that in mind. But you will notice on here that this card in no way, shape, or form says once per turn. So you can totally break this card off on the board. So basically you target a Lunalight monster in your graveyard and special summon it. So just a free monster reborn right there. And then its second effect is that you can banish it from the graveyard, discard a card, and then add a Lunalight monster from your deck to your hand. Just super nice, getting off more of those search effects. Moving on to three Allure of Darkness and 2 of the Lunalight Fusion. Lunalight Fusion is just a better polymerization. You use it in order to fusion summon a Lunalight monster, just like how you would normally with polymerization. But the second effect is that if your opponent has a monster special summoned from the extra deck, you are allowed to fusion summon using materials from your deck or extra deck, one of the materials. So very nice. Again, in case you don't have Kaleidocheck, you just use Panther Dancer as one of your materials, and then have 2 other Lunalights, and boom, you have Leo Dancer. Super good. Moving on to polymerizations. and 1 Monster Reborn. I like keeping the polys at 2 just because, you know, it's easy to search with your black sheep, but like if you draw into it, it's still nice to have one other in the deck. For the trap cards, 2 of the Reincarnation Dance. It really sucks when this card gets popped off and you don't get the effect off, but when you do, you're allowed to add 2 of your monsters to your hand. Super good. And then 1 of the Serenade Dance. Basically, the first part isn't very important, but you use it to beef up the attack of your fusion monster. And then secondly, its second effect is that you get to special summon any of your Lunalight monsters from the deck, which is super, super good. And then lastly, 1 Solemn Warning, topping this off at a 40-card deck. Super duper budget, no very expensive cards there. Now let's just get right on into the extra deck. I don't want to take up too much time here. So basically in the extra, I don't know why I'm doing it this way, playing 2 of the Leo Dancer. Leo Dancer is the boss monster of the extra deck. So basically you use it by, you get it by fusion summoning with Panther Dancer and two Lunalight monsters. So when you so it can't be targeted or destroyed by your opponent's card effects, and it can make a second attack in a row during each of your battle phases, which is also really nice. If you can get off that effect with Blue Cat, to double its attack, you get 2 attacks off, and if you can reduce its attack to 0 with Crimson Fox, with Crimson Fox, I get so confused with these guys because they're like one-ofs and they have like super big, long attacks, but anyway, yeah, super good. And then also, at the end of the damage step, which I use this effect all the time and it's super good, you can, after your first attack, you're allowed to destroy all other special summon monsters that your opponent controls. So, I mean, if you can just get rid of 1 monster that your opponent normal summoned, give them some damage, destroy everything else that was special summoned, hopefully now their board is wiped, and now you attack for game. It's just super good. Anyway, moving on to 2 Panther Dancer. I think I'm just going to kind of talk through these guys. You should know the effects, or otherwise you can look them up yourself. But 2 Panther Dancer, 2 of the Cat Dancer. You could really knock this down to 1 if you need the extra deck space, but these cards are super cheap, so just kind of go in budget. Just 1 of the Saber Dancer, which needs 3 of the materials, so not quite as good. And then 1 Starving Venom Fusion Dragon. Going on to some Link monsters, Nightmare Phoenix, Cerberus. Those cards can get a little high on the budgetness, but again, just kind of play with whatever Link monsters you got lying around. 1 Wee Witch's Apprentice, because you know we got a lot of dark monsters here. 1 Fire Fighting Garumadal, very good for getting your monsters back. 1 of the Decode Talker. 1 Diamond Direwolf, because we have a lot of Beast Warriors. Really good synergy there with also with your Blackwing Zephyros. And finally, 1 Brotherhood of the Fire Fist Tiger King. Sorry about that, guys. Kind of goes along with the whole animal theme and whatnot of the deck, but and he's just so good for getting the rest of your pushes done for your plays. So, anyways, guys, sorry about the little camera malfunction there, but thanks for hanging with me today, guys. I really hope that you liked this deck profile. Let me know what you guys thought about it in the comments. Please like, share, subscribe, whatever you got to do to keep yourself busy, but mainly subscribe, because every day when I see the little notification that says that I got 1 more subscriber, it just like lightens my heart. So thank you everybody for watching. This is going to be my sign off. So Common Collector out. Thanks, dudes. We'll see you next time.